How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Is It a Buy, where we talk about stocks and try to determine, is it on the wrong screen again? Are you kidding me right now? How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Is It a Buy, where we talk about stocks and try to determine if they are worth a buy or maybe a pass. My name is Corey. I'd just like to preface the video by saying I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who likes to talk about stocks, so please take what I say with a grain of salt, all right? Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're looking at good old AMC today. We are going to talk about tech stocks toward the end of the day, but for now, I definitely want to go ahead and get started on AMC, and we can talk about those things. So just have your picks ready. Don't give them just yet, and then we'll get to them in just a moment, all right? First things first, I do want to give a huge freaking shout out to Olive Cheeto Man. Olive says, love y'all, still holding both AMC and GME. Think about y'all lots. Olive, we were literally talking about you like late last week, I think it was. And everyone has been, everyone's wondering about you, Olive. So just to let you know, my friend, we're thinking about you as well. I was on your side. I said, Olive is just, sometimes we need to take a step back. And but I told them you were still holding strong, and I believed you were holding strong, so I'm glad to see I was right. And so wishing you the best, Olive. Thank you for stopping in. I totally understand what's going on, so I wish you the best, my friend. Very nice to see you. Let me say hi to the rest of the people on chat. Dog says, did somebody forget to turn on the dark pool today? Diane, hello. Eric, Corey, how are you doing? The bullish momentum continues on AMC, and it feels great. Absolutely does feel great to continue this momentum. See, we are on a upswing now. So hopefully that just continues here and keeps on moving. Bambino, welcome. What's up, Bromo Sapien? Hey, I see you there. Problems right out of the box. Corey needs a producer. Here's the deal. I got a new monitor. And, I think I already mentioned this. I swapped out my monitor and stuff because the old one was giving me problems. They couldn't fix it. So they just sent me a brand new monitor, which is very cool. Although I have to pay like $60 for the shipping twice now since it was broken. But I got a new monitor. I really don't know if it's worth it in the long run. I should have just bought a higher quality monitor or something. But we'll see. You get what you pay for. What's up, Lee? All right, so let's talk about AMC really quick. So AMC looking pretty dang good today. So AMC, we'll look at the 5-day really quick because it's looking just pretty spectacular on the 5-day, I will say. We can say AMC did have a pretty good day. It was up 4.12% during the day. It did end the day at $37.16. New monitor, you still have money. Well, this is my old they sent me a new monitor. So this is my old monitor that I've had, but I've been having issues with it because I don't know if you recall, but my screen would just turn off and then I would have to like unplug it, plug it back in. It was so lame. I finally did something about it and reached out, and it was still under warranty and everything. So they swapped it out. So that's what's going on with AMC. AMC looking pretty good in the after hours, down 0.22%, nothing too crazy. So we'll just kind of leave it as is. And so that's what's going on here. I mean, feeling freaking fantastic about everything going on. Glad to see we're getting closer to 40 again. Hopefully we continue this trend. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a small retracement, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw it just skyrocket based on what's going on with the short interest, the shares on loan, and the utilization going up. I don't think the utilization is quite where it needs to be at for us to see a crazy move, but I mean, it's moved at lesser numbers, right? So all the numbers are extremely pretty high right now. So, hey, what's up, Mo? Yes, Bambino, I did see the article that you emailed me about Carnival. I really like Carnival just based on everything going on. My only concern, and this is more of a short-term issue is, and not to discredit anything, but just Delta, right? Other than Delta, they have enough cash to sustain, right? And the fact that they have enough cash to sustain is huge. This is Carnival Cruise Line, if I haven't said it yet. So Carnival Cruise Line, the fact that they can actually sustain through any kind of Delta variant is huge, right? These guys have definitely been, I don't know where they got these loans from and stuff. They're not going to be out of the hole anytime soon, but as I do strongly feel like Carnival Cruise Line is a huge discount right now, an enormous discount right now. And I feel like people in a year or 2 years are going to wish they got Carnival at $20 or whatever it's at right now. Well, I can't guarantee anything, but I personally strongly feel like people are going to really be upset that they missed out on that opportunity. I'm just super bullish on it. And here's the deal. Like, it could freaking plummet to like $10 if there's another shutdown or whatever's going to happen. Personally, don't think there's going to be another shutdown, but I'll be very, very curious. This is Sammy. Change the name. What's up, Sammy? So yeah, let's talk about good old, hey, what's up, Macamania? Let's talk about GameStop. So GameStop, kind of, I would consider this flat, right? We can see it like actually barcoding down here. And so realistically, it traded basically sideways, down 0.23% in the regular hours, down 0.09 in the after hours. Nothing too crazy. So Muhammad says 4 green days in a row. The last time this happened was last time we saw this was 3 days before the $70 run. So come Friday, maybe, though not on a Tuesday, or maybe it'll skip this Tuesday and go to next Tuesday, right? We'll see what happens. Bambino says that 9 billion blew my mind, but yeah, the Delta poses a huge pin to them. That being said, if they slow down operations, they can definitely come back as long as, right. And so, the big thing for me getting into AMC originally was, are they going to go bankrupt? That's the only question you need to ask yourself, right? Because if you do believe that $20 is a good buy in a Carnival, then that's a great place to buy, right? But if you are able to get in, if you don't think they're going to go bankrupt, if you think they're going to eventually recover, I mean, why wouldn't you get in, right? They're not going to go bankrupt, which is the hardest thing. And eventually, yeah, it's a little rough right now, but eventually, why wouldn't they recover, right? They're not going to, and again, my biggest thing is, are they going bankrupt? The answer is no. Like, holy crap. Like, I freaking love that so much. Peter says the peak for COVID is expected to be October. Buckle up. Yeah, I mean, Peter, we see the trend, right? Which way Delta is trending. Oh my gosh, I'm just not looking forward to that at all. But I don't know. I can only do so much. I can only do my part, and that's it. So that's what's going on here. It looks like Doge had a bit of a retracement. So Doge is down to 29 cents over here. Oh, back up to 30 cents, I guess I should say. It had a low of 29 back here. But that's what's going on with Doge. I mean, Doge is looking not too bad. I'm so curious what they're going to be in 5 years. I'd probably be surprised if in 5 years they're not over $1. So we do take a look at a few other stocks. One of them being Mayrin. So Mayrin is something I've been kind of watching. If we're looking at on the 3 month, it's just an interesting little run up here. They're heavily shorted stock. However, I can't really find the bottom. It's kind of like a falling knife right now. We don't know when they're going to bottom out. I thought that they might have bottomed out over here. We had 1, 2, 3 levels of like kind of bounces here. I was hoping it was going to like reverse, but it did not. So I was wrong there. I like to leave this here because I like to see what we're going to see over here. Historically, I called this run up. I was looking to see, so we called that run up. We saw if they were going to try, and I was hoping that they were going to break this right here. Last time they went through, they did not break this and test it, or even test it again. So we just keep on falling here, and I don't know when this is going to reverse. But again, this is one I just want to watch. Carnival, what we've been talking about, they've had a bunch of freaking COVID scares, and these COVID scares are just non-stop, right? They keep, it's just not stopping, right? And if you are, Bambino, I will say, if you are bullish on Carnival, there's the I would look for, what's that guy's name? It's Lodita something. He talks about cruises. That's all he talks about. Cruises, not cruise stocks or anything, just cruise news. Actually, you can probably search on Google, on YouTube for cruise news, and he'll probably pop up. He's like super popular. And what I like about him is he's not just talking about the stocks, right? He's talking about what is going on just in cruises in general. And I've been watching him a little bit because I want to know just the general sense of it, right? Because I don't want somebody to be constrained to just stock. I want them to know like what's going on in the actual like world of stuff, who's doing stuff, who's not doing stuff, blah, blah, blah. So you may want to consider that. Diamond, not a bad Tuesday, but not the Tuesday I truly want. I'm there with you. Hey, how you doing, my fellow grape? What's up, home? So that's what's going on here. Let's take a look at the tops for the day, and then we'll get into the Ortex information really quick. So tops for the day, holy smokes, 265%. This has to be an IPO, right? Like, oh my gosh, not an IPO. What happened? And the after hours still running. What happened here? News. Why shares are soaring today. What will this say for me? The company announced that it received a written pre-investigational new drug response from the US FDA for whatever this is. Antiviral barrier product. I will say, whenever I see something this crazy of a run up on a stock that's been running, no options here, but I guess there's no point then to even looking at this. But usually whenever we see something this crazy, 265%, you're going to be looking at a harsh retracement, right? Harsh retracement. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it went all the way back to like $9 or something. It went from 4 to 21. I wouldn't be surprised if, it retraced to 9, or maybe depending how strong this is, maybe not that far, but holy smokes, that is a huge change. Monday.com. Wave sounds familiar, but I can't recall where I've seen it. Man, that was a crazy run. And then we're going to look at the 1 day for the top losers. Romeo Power, that's all I really recognize. Diamond says, I decided I'm not selling any of my crypto, just going to try and work extra jobs to invest. Diamond, yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that. Just personally, like if I don't know if I don't have any crypto right now. I don't have any crypto, but if I did have crypto, I would just hold personally, because you never know what's going to happen, right? You don't know who's going to be the next Bitcoin or who's going to be the next, whatever. Like, yeah, you just don't dang know. So, these people who, and I'd hate to be the person who, infamous example of the person who bought the pizza using Bitcoin, and just like that pizza cost, I don't know what it costs these days, but they paid for his pizza with Bitcoin, and it was a very, very, very expensive piece of pizza, not worth it. And that's why, like, I would just hold it. But at what point do you like cash out? You know what I mean? So these people, and my point to this was Dogecoin, right? People who were buying coffee with Doge, and they're giving a few Dogecoins for a cup of coffee. It's just very scary. Angelina, hello, welcome. Peter, I don't know what that is. Silver stacking. I don't know if that's a stock or if that's some kind of thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just if you want to kind of break it down for me. I bought pizza with my mom's money. Boom, big brain. Angel, how about the crawling that SESN is having? I haven't seen that. Angel, we'll have to do that toward the end. Palantir, I think I have a video on Palantir, because holy smokes, you need it. You need a video to understand what Palantir does. I kind of sum it in my video, but holy smokes, I just can't. It's just insane. Let's hop over to Ortex. Okay, so we're over in Ortex now. So this is not Ortex. This is Ortex. So we're seeing these numbers, and I just want to touch on them really quick. I know we'll talk about them every single freaking day. It's probably so annoying, but really quick, we talk about which way these are trending, right? Because, and the reason I like to talk about trending, I know I got kind of excited yesterday because these numbers were getting super good, but again, the trend is still upward. This did retrace. I think this was 112 million yesterday. It is currently 109 million shares on loan. Utilization, I think, was 92 or 93. Currently today it is 91.77. It did go back just a tad, and the short interest was over 18%. It is currently 17.93%. Again, we're looking at the direction, and the direction is exactly what I like to see whenever we're looking at this, is an upward trending direction. However, it's going up and down, but again, the trend is in the way that I am super optimistic for. And Nat says, I have a great feeling tomorrow we will see 40 for AMC, $40 for AMC. Any opinions? I'm so hard to say, right? I'm a hope for the best, prepare for the worst kind of guy. I really hope you're right, and you come in here and say, take that. But we'll have to see. Buying silver coins, bars, etc. Oh, okay, Peter. I just wasn't sure. I don't want to just assume. So coins or silver stacking is buying silver coins, bars, etc. Peter, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I even then, I don't have an opinion on it. I have some for me, I'm more curious about, I'll say first and foremost, I really don't know much about silver. There's the whole silver subreddit that people talk about, that people are very excited about. But I'm curious about gold. There's a few gold, I think it's an ETF that I follow that I'm super interested in, that I would love to hop in and play options, because it's, I mean, you guys won't believe, actually, I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys. I'll show you later. But gold is what I'm curious about, but I don't know what's happening with silver, with gold. I know gold was the gold standard and we traded off gold and blah, blah, blah. And it hasn't been like that for a long time, from my understanding. Then they had the big boom and it was fantastic, but I just don't know what's happening with gold these days. Is it going to have a resurgence? Is people done with gold, or are people done with gold? They're going to start switching over to crypto and NFTs. Is gold always going to be around? I know gold is actually a precious metal. Like, there's a finite amount on Earth, so it actually does make it rare and valuable, whereas something like diamonds are only perceived to be rare and valuable, but there's a bunch of diamonds around and stuff like that. So it just never ends. Man, my ring is loose. I'm gonna have to get it resized. Jeez. Airdrops might be happy by the dip. Fair enough. So that's kind of what's going on here. I did want to touch on that really quick. I have a high fever, almost missed this. Angelina, I'm sorry to hear you're not feeling so well. Hope you feel better. And then me, I'm talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour, probably getting you all anxious and stuff, trying to rest. So let's take a look at this again. We were looking at this the other day. I saw someone talk about Citadel. Something interesting that Citadel did, and I really don't know what to think about it, and I want your opinions on it. And I don't know. And don't be afraid to shill something if you're just want to give it to us straight. So don't be afraid. Just in case, I don't know how you feel about it, but we'll talk about this. Citadel Advisors, as we know, Citadel, right? The infamous Citadel. So they've had positions in AMC for a long time. They did recently change their positions by 45%, 48%, and 81%, right? And so for the calls, they added to their position by 45%. The puts, they added their position by 48%. And the actual shares, they changed. They actually went ahead and sold out their shares. Okay, they sold 80% of the shares that they owned. Now, I have a theory, and I guess type your theory or whatever, and let me know. If you don't have a theory, then that's fine. If you think it's bullish or bearish, put it in the chat. If that's all you can contribute, because you're not too sure, I'll give you my 2 cents on it. I kind of feel like while it seems bearish, right? And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, like chill warning, just be ready for this. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. At first, I thought it was bearish, right? Because, if they think that the stock is going to go up, why are they going to sell their shares, right? Because you make money whenever the shares go up. You don't make money when the shares go down if you have just shares, right? So obvious. So at first I was concerned. I was like, you know what, this is not good. But I feel like this may have been some kind of tactic just to confuse the apes, and I'm sure it's freaking worked. And I feel like what they did is they probably in my head, and again, I don't know if I'm accurate or not. I wonder if they did this to say, to kind of throw off the apes and say, look, like, we're selling our shares, we're out of there, we're done. All right, we don't think this is going to go up, so we're going to sell our shares. But what I think, Diamond, I'm the same way, my friend. Selling my contracts, I'm the worst at selling my contracts. Yikes. So anyways, what I think is going on here is so I think they dumped it to kind of confuse the apes, right? But the reason I actually don't think it's bearish, now that I'm like actually looking at it, I kind of glanced at it and I was freaking out. Not really freaking out, but I was like, that's weird. Is whenever I look at the calls versus the puts, right? Ignore the bottom one, right? Ignore the shares, just ignore that. Let's just look at this. I think what's going on is, why would they add 45% to their position? Basically, let's say it's both 45, right? Why would they add both of their positions, like increase on it? And keep in mind, like, whenever the stock, right? Like, you can theoretically play this both ways, right? And I'm not going to say, oh no, you can't do it, blah, blah, blah. Like, theoretically, if you wanted, you could play it both ways. If you believe there's going to be a short squeeze and then a dump, you can buy calls and puts, right? And let's say it's at $100 and it's kind of steady at $100 or something like that. For example, you could buy calls. You're like, okay, we're going to squeeze and I'm going to make the money. I'm going to sell at my floor. And then after everyone dumps it, then it's going to go below $100 and I'm going to make money on the way back down also, right? And that's theoretically a way that you can play any kind of stocks, right? Or you can hedge your bet or whatever you want to do. But for this, it kind of makes me feel like they're going to try to play both sides. This way, they actually don't go like bankrupt and out, right? And, I may be wrong. And if anyone has a differing opinion, I'd love to hear it. And I'll read it, even if it is a little shilly or whatever, just so we can have this dialogue, because that's what I think is happening personally. I think, and granted, they have more puts than calls, but I mean, not by too much. Let's say this is 6 million, because it almost is, and 8.5, that's 2.5 million shares in a difference, calls and puts. So I think that they're going to try to play it both ways. And because if they didn't add it, I'll put it this way, just to make it easy. If they did not add to their calls, I would probably be a little more bearish. But since they did add so much to their calls here, I think that they are bullish and bearish. I think they're going to try to play it both ways. So long story long, although this is confusing, the fact that they added shares, I'm bullish. I think it's bullish. Like, it doesn't make much sense to me. Why they would add if they weren't actually bullish, personally. Bambino says, also, I don't really take calls and puts as a major thing. They're puts and calls just as the synthetic stock that gets rewards without actually holding a stock. Fair enough. So those are my thoughts on it. If anyone has any thoughts, just share it. But Bambino also says, I thought about it too. They could have thrown off their scent, but they have thousands of shell companies. Not only is, they could try to be playing through the shell company or something. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I just wanted to share it with you all because, just in case you see something, I don't want you to shill yourself or whatever. I'd rather shill you. No, I'm just playing. Something interesting also I did see on Reddit, right here, actually, this article right here and I want to just confirm it for myself because it's an easy confirm, is that right here, boom, on Q3, look at the institutional change, right? Keep in mind the institutional change right here is like, look in Q2 what happened. Like, actually Q1 was crazy before. It's crazy how these have changed so much, because it was 15 million. I remember, which one do I remember? I remember this one, I think it was, because it was huge. Like, it was, these are a lot of shares to be bought. But anyways, you can see the differences of what's happened now. How many people continue to buy? Keep in mind, these are institutions and they are continuing to buy. I mean, look at 817 right here. What's going on here? These people bought shares held, percentage of portfolio. I mean, these people are buying like a bunch right here, are buying and selling. Where can I see buying and selling? Quarterly change. Anyways, we'll skip that for a second, but we can see here, look, in Q3, $1.11 billion in purchased shares and 392 million sold, right? So either way, I mean, this is still a whole bunch. People are buying the crap out of this thing. And it's just insane. Ryan Cohen owns more shares than BlackRock now. Jeez. Diego says there's absolutely no reason to continue to short. They are insane, holding strong. Diego, I agree with you. Honestly, I don't know why they would be holding, why they would continue to, well, I think I know why they would continue to short, but I don't know why they wouldn't just cut losses and escape and just get out, be done with it, rather than, you know, the potential of getting a margin call, right? Man, once they get that margin call, ooh, that is not going to be good for them. That is not going to be good for them. AMC equals Americans making cash. I like it. Matt Kramer, hey man, I like the beard. Thank you, Matt. It's about to go away very soon because that thing has been growing and growing and growing. Actually, it hasn't grown too bad. I'm not too upset with it, but I don't know at what point I gotta take care of it at some point. So yeah. Nat says, did anyone else hear about anything about Kenny Kenny boy contacting his lawyer and wetting up contracts? I don't know much detail. I was distracted at the moment. I saw something like that. I didn't really read what they were doing in the actual contracts, but I did see something or setting a contract. I was like, what is wetting a contract? I'm not too sure exactly what it did, but yes, I saw a Reddit post about it. I don't fully understand what was going on. I didn't really have time to read it all. Been getting Spirit with the leftover money and buying AMC. Man, a lot of people talking about Spirit. How's Spirit looking on the chart? Airlines, right? Or no, wait. Oh, wait. I think you put the ticker. SPRT. Support. Wow, yeah, this is the one you're talking about. 67% short interest, utilization is pretty high, shares on loan is pretty high. It depends on the float, right? SPRT, let's see what the float is. So free float. So in order for it to be equivalent to AMC, it would have to be about 20%. However, I see right here it's about 33%. Right, of the shares on loan of the total free float, right? Because it's you can do 5 divided by 15, which would be 33%. So this is extremely high shares on loan, extremely high shares on loan, high short interest of the free float, and utilization is insane. Has there been any runs on this based on previous like short interest or anything? Oh, the short interest has been going up and up and up. Yeah, see, man. Too many, like, I don't know, I just don't have enough money to play these plays. And if I did have more money, like, would I even put it in here? Would I put it in AMC? Where would I put it? What would I do with it, right? Yeah. Bambino, that is a great question. We try. I don't know where to find exactly how much of the how much of AMC is owned by retail investors. If anyone knows where you can find how many retail or what percentage of AMC is owned by retail investors, let me know. Like with just where to find a link or anything like that, just to see this information, because it's really hard to find. Or I just don't know where to find these things. William says, what is your price target for real? William, I really don't have like a price target, because if I were to, and the reason why I don't, and I just want to be crystal clear about this, the reason why I don't have a price target is because if I set an artificial price target for myself, like, why would I do that to myself? You know what I mean? Like, it's not because I'm like, oh, like I don't want to say something wrong. No, it's because let's say I say the price target is $500, okay? Arbitrary number. I literally just pulled that out of thin air. Let's say I think it's $500, right? So let's say I'm like, all right, it hits $500 on the way up, I'm out. Now, well, I'm out. It's like, well, why did I get out? Why do I think that all of a sudden the stock is going to go to $500 and then dump, right? Why would I think that? It doesn't make any sense to shield myself with those kinds of numbers, right? The reason why I'm just going to play it super slow. And I think you're relatively new to the channel, but the reason I play it super slow is because I'm waiting for, to see what's happening, how it plays out, how the Ortex numbers are not end all be all, but I do like to see trends, right? How they're trending, if they are covering, if they're not covering. Even then, they know we're looking at Ortex, so just taking it super slow, seeing what's going on. And so I'm just going to play it extremely slowly. And even then, my floor is extremely low because I really don't need it to go very high for me to retire, essentially. So I don't mind letting it run and then selling on the way back down, because I'm fortunate enough to have that luxury where, I'll probably be okay. So, oh, dang, I just realized I got to and also I just remembered I have to do tax too, right? So, oh, did Adam Aaron say that, Diane, in his actual, he said within 4.1 million investors, they own 80% of AMC. Did Adam Aaron himself? Is that where it all came from? Eric says, Corey, is there a reason why Citadel opposed the increased margin requirements going into effect soon? Seeing a lot of margin calls, going to see a lot of margin calls soon. Right. I don't know why they would have been the singular person to oppose the increased, margin requirements in the NSC or, the DTCC filings or whatever that went, whichever that one was. For those of you who don't know, it went from $10,000 to $250,000. For that. And realistically, like in the scheme of things, unless I'm misunderstanding it, for them to have just $250,000 like in their account or with that entity or however they actually have to do it, $250,000 in the scheme of Citadel really doesn't sound like anything. They've lost billions, right? They've lost billions of dollars. So it's weird that they would like oppose that and say, no, like we can't do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, why would they try to oppose it whenever in the scheme of how huge they are, that it's just a drop in the bucket. It's like nothing to them. It's extremely interesting to me that they would be the only person that at least that I know of that has done that. So yeah, Diamond, check ride on Ortex. We are really letting this stream get away from us right now. Right on Ortex, so we can see utilization pretty high, shares on loan 42, and again, you want to compare it to the actual free float and see what the percentage is. Again, AMC is around 20% of the shares on loan are in the free float. So yeah. And we can see right here, short interest pretty high, 26. I mean, just insane. And we can even look here historically at what's happened with the short interest of the free float and if there's been any moves, blah, blah, blah. Yes, taxmyattendees.com is a very cool site, Peter. I really like that site a lot. Orgales says, if they lose B, why not let the squeeze happen? Right. I don't know, you know, similar to you, I don't know why they're just not like being done with it, cutting losses, just getting out. It just doesn't make any sense to me. June 9 Twitter. Okay. So that's where that 80% came from. That's good to know. Thank you. Yeah, I was trying to find it yesterday, but I'm like, where the heck did we hear it? And I was afraid I was just like saying stuff, you know, that isn't like, hasn't been confirmed or anything. Yes, Bambino, it's time for Tech Tuesday. Thank you very much. Let me go over these things really quick. So we have this one. I thought this was pretty interesting. So Motley Fool. So this person says, you know, interesting article from Motley Fool. People are afraid that it's going to be a weird fake squeeze situation where they're going to push it to 200 and try to drop it, or 2000 and try to drop it or something. I really don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do think it's pretty interesting. We can see here, will AMC millionaires? Few investors believe AMC would reach $72 per share early this year. Hence, with enough momentum, one cannot say that $200 per share or even $2,000 per share is possible, right? And this is a good point. This is what people have been saying the whole time. And feel free to put your tech stock. If anybody has tech stocks, please put it in. But just curious. William says, I know what you mean, but sometimes it's painful. Do you think the whole stock market will keep dropping this week? William, hard to say exactly what the stock market is going to do. I do feel like it's probably going to follow Delta, right? As Delta grows, the stock market is going to go down. And we saw that as the regular, you know, as COVID, just regular COVID was going down, the stock market, I feel like it was recovering, and now we're in, you know, maybe it recovered too much, could be part correction, part Delta, and now it's just like not looking so good. So yeah. And William, and I see Orgali's over here. What would be a good price to sell? I do have a video on how high will AMC go. And, you know, Moaz, I have one called Moaz Game Theory that talks about selling on your floor, how it would work. I also have a video of will AMC hit $100? I think those 3 videos would probably answer all your questions and kind of, yeah, that stuff. Full as a part of a positive article. Yeah. So this is pretty interesting. I don't know. No big deal. Yeah, Bambino, you know, I really don't like to compare this to the Volkswagen squeeze, but technically, right, whenever you're talking about how many of it is owned and how much of this, how much is that, you know, if there are synthetic shares, there's a lot of different metrics that go into it. And if a quarter of what people are saying is true about AMC and how much of the float there is, how many synthetic shares there are, yada, yada, we're looking at something way crazier than that Volkswagen squeeze, like way crazier. I just don't like to especially compare those dang charts, because everyone tries to compare the charts. It just really hasn't played out. I do not play COD. I do play Apex. I like Apex. VW squeeze was a good teaching moment. Yeah. So I did want to bring this one up because I thought this was pretty funny. It says, want to talk about bad trades? Reminder, Mudrick Capital made an estimated $40 million from selling AMC on June 1st. They sold because they believed AMC to be overvalued. But if they sold on June 2nd, they would have made $350 million, which is insane. In freaking insane. Oh, I got a link right here from good old Diane. Can I click this? Unsubbed. Oh my gosh, go to site. Oh, boom. And you own more than 80% of AMC. So this is June 9th. Oh my gosh, too funny. I thought this was very interesting about how this goes. Well, VW was the only company was only on company hold, so there's, and some will sell ASAP, right? So Orgal, that's a good point also, right? There are differences and stuff, like nothing is it's obviously not the same, right? And don't let anyone tell you it is the same. Don't let anybody compare the charts, and just make your own decisions, right? Own financial decisions. Even for me, keep that in mind. So that's what's going on here. So let's talk about, so let's see, Bambino says, Corey, take a look at COR. For the record, I've been investing routinely in them for the last 7 to 8 years. Okay, let's take a look at the chart over here. Let me clear some of these out. Any tech stocks? Oh no, Alam, it's gonna happen. Oh no. I wouldn't spam. These mods they're loose cannons. Jones says, is it a good strategy to buy leaps puts now and sell them after the squeeze? Joan, very fair, very good question. But I will say, these freaking apes, they hold. Like, I'd be very, very careful. It's gonna be very expensive. I think theoretically, like, I can appreciate that concept, but you're gonna, I mean, I don't know how far out you'd have to buy them, right? I have no clue how far out you'd have to buy them. Yikes. And there it goes. Sorry, Alam. I tried to help you, but people are crazy. Oh, did you delete your own message? No spamming. All right, so let's see that stock that Bambino said. COR. Core site. Nice. All right, so let's see what's going on over here with this stock. So this profile right here, residential and commercial REITs, and REITs are real estate investment trust. I'm not really too familiar with those. Real estate is actually a very interesting sector that I'm curious about what's going to happen in the future, especially with everyone buying and buying and buying. What's going to happen? Gosh, I do have a stock that I'm actually pretty into. It is called, I think it's IVR. We'll pull this one up really quick. Oh yeah, it is IVR. Yeah, I'm super into IVR. I haven't looked at them in a long time. I wonder how they're looking in the last 6 months. Ooh, not so good. 1 year? Just sideways? Are you kidding me? I do like this stock though. All right, let's continue with COR over here. Let's look at the website. Or not the website, the profile of them. So these guys are engaged in the business of owning, acquiring, constructing, and operating data centers. Its data centers are located across the United States, including San Francisco Bay Area, LA, North Virginia area, including Washington, D.C., and the New York, oh wow, just all over the place. Boston, Chicago, Denver, Miami. Its property portfolio includes approximately 23 operating data center facilities, office and light industrial space, and multiple potential development projects that collectively comprise over 4.6 million rentable square feet. It provides, okay, so it does the most. Okay, it does the most. Let me copy link and let me pull it up over here, see what these guys are doing. Gary, good day, another good day. I love it. Core site, let's see what these guys are doing. The reason I'm trying to pull up their website is I want to know what they do. Cloud services, interconnection, co-location. I'm not sure what that is. Ecosystem, not too sure what that is either. Growth in digital future. So, oh gosh, the only thing with some of these companies, they do the craziest thing. We need to get used to day traders long and short. See, the thing with this is, man, these sometimes these guys do like the most, and it's kind of hard to kind of just dive in like the way I want to and figure out exactly what they're doing. Here's all the solutions they do: cloud services, which it's pretty open ended. Cloud is everything. Inter-site connectivity, blended IP, cross connects, peer exchanges for interconnection. Let's see what this is: cage co-location. Cabinet co-location. I don't know what co-location is. I'm gonna have to look that up unless they say what it is on the site. But here we go: financial services, education, healthcare providers, network providers. Man, these guys do a lot. See if we can figure out what co-location is. What is co-location? A co-location data center is a facility that offers a space with the proper power, cooling, and security to host businesses' computer. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, easy enough. So often co-location providers lease space to various tenants looking for co-location services, including network providers, cloud providers, enterprises. Wow, so a lot of people use them. This must be a pretty freaking secure facility over here. So, all right, so interesting stuff. Let's look at their financials and see how they've been doing annually. So let's get this pulled up here. Hopefully it loads. Perfect. So their gross profit, we'll go ahead and start from 2017, 334, 372, 392, 412. Consistent, slow, but very consistent growth. And I say slow, I mean, this is tens of millions of dollars each year in increase, which is fantastic, right? Steady growth, even through COVID, right? COVID's still with the growth in them. And I'm curious to see the 2021 numbers, because it actually, further, a lot of people transitioned to online, work from home. I worked at a marketing agency. A lot of people actually moved to online, right? So our business went up. There was a lot more people, buying websites. They had to have e-commerce. They had to do all this functionality to make money and try to sell online. And so that's exactly, we saw our business directly affected by this stuff. So I absolutely love the financials. That's just the profit. Obviously, there's a bigger picture here that I'm not taking a look at. Let's see what the institutions think. And so, okay, so I like that this is like this, because look, what's very confusing is whenever the institutional ownership is 104.9%, right? First of all, how is anything owned? Somebody, I forgot who was in the chat yesterday, but someone says it's impossible for an institution to be, or for a stock to be over 100% owned, right? Okay, so hopefully I'm okay now. I'm going kind of slow. Better now. Great. So, we were talking yesterday. I forgot who was in the chat, but someone said, hey, like, how is it possible for them to own, it's not possible, they said, for them to own over 100% of the stock. And that makes sense. If it's 100%, that means all of it, right? Now, granted, if you're talking about going up over 100%, that's a different story. But whenever you're talking about a piece of a pie, if you can only literally eat 100% of the piece of the pie, right? If there's two pies, okay, 100% and 100%, or you take it, this one pie is 50%, the other one's 50%. Either way, it goes to 100%. So the fact that there are, let's say a million shares for the float, then the million shares in the float is just a million shares. You can't buy more. That's it. So if the institution alone owns 104%, like, it's just crazy. It doesn't really make much sense. I wonder what it looks like for AMC. It says 26% here. But I do like institutions, because institutions, they are here to make money. They are here to make money. And that's all they do, right? That's what they do. So I do like following institutional investors. Although remember, usually their investments are much slower, much longer plays. But either way, they like to make money. That's their job. Gary says, I teach accounting and finance. Please do not trade if you do not know how to read the financial statements, right? And so, Gary, yeah, I'd agree partially with that. I think it is important to understand financially what's going on with the company. But at the same time, I think that there's another aspect to trading, especially in this kind of weird time of through rehypothecation. Good point, Matt Kramer. But to Gary's point really quick, reading financial statements, I think that in this weird time, there are things that you can look at that you may not need to know all of the financial information and stuff, you can kind of like see sentiment, see what's going on. Obviously, you're not going to get the whole picture, but even understanding something like a Carnival Cruise Line, right? And we've been talking about Carnival Cruise Line because this is more of a like you can understand people have been freaking stuck at home. People want to go on cruises. They're not going to go bankrupt. I personally feel like, without looking at the financials, because I'll tell you right now, the financials are probably trash. They've been freaking stuck at port for over a year. And now they're starting to go, right? So I think there are different kinds of trading styles. And I think that trading style that I just mentioned is not, maybe not the best, but I think it is a very, very valid trading style. And sometimes I trade in that kind of style. And I'll tell you, I freaking have done very well, is what I will say. But I do think that there is a accounting aspect to it by looking at the financials that could be very huge. I know that, what's that guy's name? Matt Maher, he actually looks at all of these statements. He'll read every single statement, every single thing. He knows all of these numbers, what they mean, what they look like, what the projections. I mean, he's crazy whenever he picks his stocks. He picks good stocks, but at the same time, he picks stocks that historically, by his own admission, whenever he was on Trey's trades, he picks stocks that are up 10% in a few years or something, which honestly, if I was going to pick a stock that was up 10% in a year, I'd rather just play the S&P 500 for the safety of it. And I don't have to read through all the financial statements. I can just pick the S&P 500 and I'm good to go. So different trading styles is what I'll say. Analytics here. So we can see the different high, medium, low. High being 161, medium being, or average I should say, is 136.88, and the low is $100. I'm don't really have time to go through the news. Let's look at the chart here. Look at the 6-month chart. Oh gosh, let's look at the 1-year chart. Not too bad, actually. It's been a little bullish more recently. I'm afraid that there's going to be like a harsh retracement here, but honestly, it's been looking pretty good. When was this? December of, we'll say January of 2019 all the way to 21. So honestly, not too bad over this time period. I wish I could click, and I really can't believe it does not let me. It's just so annoying. I wish I could click and drag so I can see from this point to this point. That's the only thing. If I could add one thing to Webull, it would be that functionality. If anyone knows how to do it, I don't know. I'll send you a hat, honestly. I mean, just teach me how to do that. I'll send you a hat. I'm not joking. To click, drag, and highlight and say from this point to this point, it was an increase or decrease by this percentage. I don't know if it's possible. Okay, so that's what we have here. Looks like the level 2 is just shut off or something. So let's go ahead and go over to AMC because we're done trading in the after hours. AMC in the after hours did end the day right here at 30. Diane's already on it. $37.14, down 0.05% in the after hours. Nothing too crazy, okay? So that is what we have going on here. Bambino says, I gave my nieces each $200 and taught them to buy stocks they like just to get interest. Disney and McDonald's for the win. Honestly, they went into Disney. I'll tell you what, Disney was a nice pick. Especially depending on when they started. They started at the beginning of the pandemic right here, March 18th around. Yep, here's the March of last year. And honestly, if they got in at $79, they're up. They doubled their money. So, dang. Corey, sell merch. Oh my gosh, my merch is honestly such a huge mess. I need to set up like an actual store online so I can sell my merch, because currently it's a weird system through my my OnlyFans. No, I'm just playing. It's a weird system through my Patreon. So it's crazy. Yeah, Gary, I'd agree with this comment. Gary says, have your own style, but most of the time The fundamentals count. They set the floor. The FOMO and story set the ceiling. And yes, AMC is a once in a lifetime play. I'd agree with that. I think fundamentals do have a play. I think in this market, it's just so weird, right? While fundamentals, I think do play a part still currently right now. It's just a weird market with everything going on. All these new retail investors that are just freaking crazy and just doing the weirdest things that don't make historical sense, right? It's I'm sure they have their own reasoning or whatever, but just historically, it's a bunch of weird stuff. Oh, Diane, I have to send you a hat. Diane, send me a private message with your address in the Discord, because I got you. So yeah, it's just crazy stuff. If you get, oh yeah, Bambino, I got you. Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna figure it out, Bambino. I gotta see the best way to do this, but yeah, that's so easy. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, awesome. All right, well, that's perfect. All right. So that's what I have for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping up. I'm freaking hungry and I smell some delicious food. My fiance is freaking champion. I freaking am very lucky. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I am going to log off. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We will see you tomorrow. Talk about something cool. I don't know what it'll be. Maybe we'll be at $1 million. No, I'm just kidding. We'll see. But all right, y'all. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a fantastic night. Peace.